What do you do when things get crazy and chaotic in your household? What do you do when there's a meltdown or a fight or an argument and you're trying to get your toddler or older to do something? I've got a great tip for you that I learned when I was parenting my own children. I never saw it, I didn't hear it, but I began to use this in my own kids' lives, and I think it's kind of like a secret weapon. When you have a situation going on in your household, what do you do? Usually, because we're the parent, we either demand from our child or we begin to raise our own voice and tell them. Because parents tend to want things to be quiet and they want to de-escalate. How do you do that? We often do things which escalate the problem instead of taking it down. So instead of demanding from our children when there is a problem, we can tell them what we would like, the simple behavior. But often, something that helps is if you ask your child a question. In other words, you give them an option. You give them an idea and let them come up with in their own mind. They are beginning to make connections, inroads up in here. The synapses are connecting. You have a smart child, a smart toddler, so learn to use it to your advantage. If there's a problem, you can begin to ask them, offer alternatives. Can you do this? Could you do this? Do you think this is the problem? Are you feeling this? When your child can begin to think about what the problem might be, they are very smart and they can put it together and begin to come down in their feelings and their actions. I'll give you a great example. I was with one of my grandbabies lately. Actually, I was with 3 of them, and they have lots of feelings and lots of personalities. And one of them was going along fine, and suddenly there began to be an escalation in their behavior. I asked them to do a simple task, and before you know it, they were crying and carrying on enormously, out of character for what I was requesting. So I started to think about it. What is going on here? So I started to ask her some questions. Do you think you're feeling sad? Do you think there could be something else going on? Are you maybe feeling sad about going home? Well, she thought it over for about 2 seconds and said yes. She continued to cry, but she began to be able to express to me what was going on. And she said, it feels like we just got here and we're going home tomorrow, and I'm so sad. It was really quite wonderful because she is so little, and yet she began to have more mental understanding of what she was feeling than many adults. It ended up being a wonderful time of her realizing that her feelings over here, which were so big and strong, were really because she was feeling something else. And that is my big tip for today. If you can learn to ask your toddler questions about what is going on with them, could they do something else, and give them a choice, they will often be able to react and learn to de-escalate their own feelings in a much quicker amount of time. So what we're trying to do is help our toddler or older child to think through their feelings, to work through it and navigate those feelings. And this is really a much bigger situation than just a toddler problem. What you're helping your child to do is to make connections for down the road. As your child gets older, they will have to navigate other situations. But if they begin to understand how they individually are made, what they individually feel, we will help them to build confidence and they will learn what they need. We don't want our child to have to react as another child in the family. Because remember, just like we're so individual, which I always say, the little ones are too. And we want to meet the needs of each of them in their way that's appropriate. This will really build confidence for down the road. When we learn what makes each of us think, we can realize that we can give self-love and meet our own needs. There's something really wonderful when you realize what you need and you can accommodate that yourself. Sometimes we need downtime or alone time, or we realize we just can't accomplish something. It's too hard at that given time. We don't have enough energy. And there's a lot of wisdom in realizing that. A lot of adults don't even realize what they feel and have difficulty navigating. So, back to the toddler. When you're trying to figure out what your toddler needs, and there's a lot of noise and chaos and crying or yelling going on, here's what we really don't want to do. Even though you may be feeling angry and really frustrated, there's certain statements we just don't want to make. We don't want our toddler to think that they are more than we can handle. We don't want to express, I have no idea what to do with you. You're just too much for me. I can't handle you. Those are things that we don't want to say, because here's the message that comes from those words. Even though you're frustrated, what the message they get is, oh my gosh, my parents can't handle me. My mom doesn't know what to do with me. I'm out of control. Something's wrong with me. That's the message that we don't want to give. So I hope that makes sense. We will do things wrong, and that's okay. It's okay to say, I'm feeling really frustrated right now, or I have to think about what to do in this situation. It's okay to express that. And we will oftentimes have to go back and say we're sorry. I'm sorry that mommy lost her patience. I'm sorry that I said whatever. Forgiveness is a wonderful tool. It's so wonderful. Your children will readily forgive you if you offer that. And when you ask them to forgive you, guess what? You're going to have children that realize they do things wrong, and they will ask people to forgive them. Remember, if we as adults have trouble expressing and controlling our emotions, imagine being a little person with these big giant feelings. A long time ago, I heard a saying, and I haven't been able to find it again, but it essentially said that if we don't give our children what they need when they're little, we will have children forever as adults. So let's try to give our children what we need to equip them for the future. And don't be too hard on yourself. It's really hard raising children, but we want to do our best and give it our best. Be kind to yourself, and don't forget to say you're sorry. We're all learning and growing. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.